We can be heroes. Before I get into the video, I want to ask you something. Who was your favorite superhero growing up? I'll tell you mine at the very end. Now, we can be heroes. What is it about? You know, it's about teamwork. It's about overcoming personal obstacles. It's about believing in yourself. And it's about 44 minutes too long. We Can Be Heroes, the new film by director Robert Rodriguez. In my review of We Can Be Heroes, I'm gonna try to be as fair as possible. Okay? Now, something to consider with this film is its demographic. It's supposed to be it's supposed to be for kids, right? So I mean, it can be of lesser quality, right? I don't think that's that type of attitude and that type of who's really going to care? It's just for kids. Which may or may not have been Robert Rodriguez's, intention when he started out making this movie. But it comes off as very rushed, slapdash, kind of really quickly put together. Long and short of it, folks, it's not a good movie. All right, but I'm not gonna rant and rave about it. I'm not. When I've started doing these reviews again, I said, even with films I don't like, I'm not gonna just, rant if I don't like something. Okay, but what's it about? Okay, and here we go. Spoilers, just so you know. Okay, so in this world, where it's kind of like the world that he established with Shark Boy and Lava Girl, there's a team of heroes called the Heroics. Okay, and so there's an average day, it's the way it's described, an average day in the world of Heroics. Well, there's an alien invasion. There's an alien invasion, and every single possible heroic is captured. Which, putting that out there, imagine if every single one of the Justice League, Justice League of America, Justice League International, the Avengers, the New Avengers, Young Avengers, imagine if there was such an overwhelming threat that they were all just completely removed out of the equation. Like they couldn't even be Earth's defenders. These superheroes couldn't even be Earth defenders because they could just get captured. It's the initial premise of the entire film is like, okay, like what if all of the superheroes, the career superheroes, because these are all adults. All of these are adult superheroes. What if they were all captured? Well, that's it for humanity, right? I mean, like, really? If people with superpowers can't even overcome, this problem? Well, okay. So, the kids of the superheroes, the mini heroics, they don't actually give themselves like a name, but they go into a DEF CON situation where they are sent to a secure facility and they're under lockdown. Why? Because all the heroes are, all the heroes are captured. We don't know what's going to happen to them. So we're just going to keep you here for your own protection. And one of these kids, Pedro Pascal's daughter, Missy. I'm not making that name up. That's her character name. Robert. Just a little bit of effort. Where he's like, and that's not me judging the young actress who plays Missy. She actually did a pretty decent job. But just like there are so many times where I saw this film and like just a lack of effort is apparent. Anyways, all right, continuing, going on. So Pedro Pascal's daughter, Missy, she says, we can't trust the grown-ups to take care of us, so we need to break out of this secure facility whose sole purpose is to keep us safe. Okay, and then they do. She mobilizes a team of roughly, like, I believe it's 10. Like 9 or 10 other children with superpowers to attack their guardians, break out of the facility, and then just come up with a plan on the fly. But because she got gumption, she got moxie, she has the will to lead her peers to somewhere. You know, Missy is declared the leader. There's a little bit of griping. There's a little bit of dissent, like among the superhero kids about that. But whatever. Just like, okay, we don't have time for story here. And when I say that, as soon as the film kind of gets going, kids can't trust grown-ups, so kids just pretty much do whatever. Like, there is no room for story. Like, okay, the heroes are captured, kids are placed in a lockdown, kids break out of lockdown, heroes still captured. They go to Missy's grandmother, who apparently is a world-famous superhero trainer at one time. And, you know, she tells them, well, you really need to stop arguing amongst yourselves, you know, like a bunch of kids. To be fair, this is the struggle of every single teacher in history. But, okay, stop arguing among yourselves, use your powers constructively, and maybe you can help out your parents so that they can help out, you know, like this grand global invasion that will probably destroy all of humanity. Okay, so, I mean, a little bit of a training montage, and then we head right back off into the main plot, which is, okay, they do find a plot. Eventually the plot is to rescue their parents so that their parents can help save the world. Okay, now we have a reason. Now we have a purpose to this, right? Okay, so they somehow get to the mothership, the alien mothership. They find out that the grown-ups that were supposed to be taking care of them, they're aliens. All the more proof that the grown-up aliens can never be trusted, because only kids can be trusted. Okay, so they're given a specific task, rescue the heroes, and on the mothership, that's their main goal. All right, and for the most part, they team up, they come together, they have wacky fight scenes with adults. It's really kind of like, this is the kind of movie, honestly, that will make adults reach for an alcoholic beverage. There's so much like running around and noise making and just like, I get it. It's kids being kids, and that should be the be-all, end-all reason of why things are happening. No. You need a story. You need something a little bit more set in stone. You need something a little bit more concrete, because by the time that they get to the grandmother and then they get to the alien mothership, more than an hour has gone by. There has, like... Okay, before I get too far off track, they then eventually they have a ticking clock. They beat the ticking clock. Oh wait, no, they don't. They kind of rescue the heroes. They don't. If I sound confused, it's because it's a confusing film, a confusing, not very well written film. The entire movie, at the very end of the whole film, you know, and we are at like an hour and like 38 minutes into the madness at this point. It's revealed that one of the kids, one of the ensemble cast of like 10 children, turns out they were an alien overlord. And Missy, who thought that she was just optimizing her leadership skills and her confidence and her observation skills and her intelligence, no, she was just being tricked the entire time. It turns out that one of the little kids, who we were led to believe had psychic powers, didn't have psychic powers. She was behind the whole scheme. She was behind the whole like plan. She comes from a world where kids are in charge. Because, and don't ask questions. You can, but there's no point. There is this. Okay, so the explanation for this whole shebang, the whole rigmarole, all this is that like, well, we were training you to use your skills. Well, why'd you go about it this way? Well, because we had to prove to you that you could use your skills. I'm asking questions. I was about to go into a long question spiel, and that would lead nowhere. But anyways, they said like, as you're the children of the heroes, you're supposed to be the next generation. You're supposed to be the hope for the future, as every generation, theoretically, should be. So the long and short of it is, this was a massively long training exercise. And that's it. And then the movie ends. The movie is like, you will be like the alien overlord, the child alien overlord, then tells like, you will be the next heroes because I command it. Essentially, that's what it comes down to. The alien overlord tricked the children into doing pretty much everything the way that she wanted them to. She tricked them into thinking that they actually had skills. Like, the big message behind all of this mess is that kids are better than grown-ups. It's a kid's movie, so you would imagine that that would be the big appeal. Okay, fine. But at the same time, the movie undermines that message by, like, it's not that they have an innocent outlook of the world and they believe that truth and justice should prevail because that's the pure spirit of fairness, or that people should be good from an altruistic sense or whatever like that. It's that kids are just better. And there is, if you can look at the world without bias, if you can look at the world with a point of view of innocence, yes, there is an advantage there. You haven't become jaded or cynical or just angry from just like from the world just kind of, you know, taking swings at you for however many years. And so the perspective of a child is it can be something worth investing in. So that's true. And that's fine. Okay. But when the movie then just kind of says, like, oh, like, what, like, well, why are you the overlord? Because on our planet, the kids are in charge, and they absolutely none of you have experience. Why was this training exercise necessary? Well, because none of you have experience. You have a lot of potential. You have a lot of skill. There are children in this cast with reality warping powers. They can manipulate time backwards and forwards. Admittedly, it's only a few seconds. But if you can manipulate time, you can manipulate reality. You can do pretty much whatever you want. The ensemble cast has a menagerie of different abilities. There's shape-shifting, unpredictable. They call this kid Wild Card. And he can pretty much do anything because he's a wild card. I mean, that's the whole meaning of that phrase. They're unpredictable. You don't know what's going to happen. They have kids that can Mr. Fantastic stretching abilities. They show off a team and a cast of characters that maybe this can work, if we pace ourselves right. I've always thought that the biggest problem that a lot of superhero films have is that they're overcrowded. They're way too heavy. Like, before I get on a totally different other subject, when you have too many heroes or too many villains, unless it's an ensemble project, like to the best that we have seen right now, you might not be a Marvel fan, but the Marvel Cinematic Universe, that's the gold standard right now. And there really is nothing wrong with that. Not really. But because they can showcase humor, seriousness, strong story here and there, like in places, like kind of wavering, kind of weak, like here and there. But a lot of it is really just down to preference. But the MCU is the gold standard template for successful hero films. And Robert Rodriguez, I think he tried to excuse a lot of poor writing, bad pacing, bad filmmaking by just writing off the demographic as kids. Oh, it's kids. Kids love color and noise and just stuff, just constant, non-stop simulation. And kids love to be told that they're the most important people in the world. As more of like an ego type thing. It's like, okay, should children be nurtured? Absolutely. Should they be taught and trained to their utmost potential? Of course, yes. But just to say that kids really know it all, this is going to be something like, this is not going to scan well for an all ages sort of like. I see so many reviews say fun for the whole family, fun for all ages. Kids will probably like this because it's tailor made for them. It's just stuff happening on a screen, and I say that in a very dismissive way, as if that's all that children really care about, and it's not. I mean, kids have fresh, fertile minds that can take in anything and everything, derive meaning from it, and then filter that through the various lessons that they go through in life. Kids deserve better expectation, better treatment with regards to the standards of children's entertainment. You don't have to talk. I think the main problem that I have with this film is that it talks down to its primary audience. It just has things happen, kind of coats them with generic positive messages, believe in yourself, try hard, and then completely undercuts it all with, oh, by the way, it doesn't matter because all of this was planned from the beginning and you're just following the course of an alien overlord. So it really just undercuts itself a lot. Robert Rodriguez, We Can Be Heroes, like I said, kids, like younger children, 10 and under will probably enjoy this. They'll laugh at certain parts and they'll have fun watching kids beat up adults. I mean, yeah, that's probably one of the bigger selling points, That's kind of what I was a little bit more surprised with, is that when Robert Rodriguez was doing these types of films in the early 2000s, I mean, it was kids versus other kids. And, okay, so I mean, it's, it's an equal, playing field. But in this one, to where it's just, superhero children just beating up adults, I also have some problem with that. I feel that, the positive message is kind of clouded by a lot of missteps and mishandling of the overall story premise. But anyways, this is not a fun for all ages. If you have movie night at your house and your 13-year-old, you're just okay, well, all right, Billy, you got to pick the movie last time. Now it's your little brother, your little sister's turn to pick the movie. It's like, we want to watch We Can Be Heroes. Like, okay, you put that on. And I guarantee you, they might eye roll so hard, they might need glasses thicker than mine. I'm just saying. Like teenagers, I've been on this planet for 13 years, so I know everything about everything. Like, no, they will not enjoy this movie. Adults, get ready. This, as of filming this episode, this is top 10 in Netflix popular like movies, because it's marketed as a family film, and it's because of the way that it's structured and the way that it's written, it's meant to be just a safe family movie, and that should be enough. Netflix never releases like metrics numbers. Is like, yeah, so many people watch this. Do they watch it all the way through? Do they Netflix? Is that a thing? Anyways, for younger audiences, this will probably be an enjoyable, fun little almost 2 hours. Well, that's another thing, 2 hours. I mean, I could barely sit still through 30 minutes of Saturday morning cartoons when I was a kid, and when it came to like E.T. was too long for me. I forget exactly how long E.T. is, but that was something that didn't hold like my attention, and that's regarded as one of the best films of the 80s. So just like, I'll finish this out with the promise that I made at the very beginning of this video, which is, what was my favorite superhero growing up? And my favorite superhero growing up was Spider-Man. Now, Spider-Man, he was this nerd that was bullied, that because of an unpredictable like accident, he got superpowers, and then he used those superpowers to help people. So I mean, growing up, he was my favorite superhero. My tastes are kind of like, he's one of my favorite from Marvel, but I also have my favorites from DC as well. But that'll be for like another time. Who was your favorite superhero growing up? What was if you had a superpower, what would be your superpower? If you could choose it. Anyways, if you are here for the first time and you like this video, please like, subscribe, click that notification button, and thank you very much for joining me once again on Movie Ninja. I know that this was a longer video than I posted in a while because, well, obviously I had a lot to say. So if you stuck with me to the very end of this video, you are a champ. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Appreciate you. I'll see you next time on Movie Ninja.